A very common type of problem in algebra involves a problem with coins. So first, let's review our coins. This is a penny, and I'm going to represent it with the letter P, and it's worth 1 cent. Here is a nickel. That's going to be the letter N, and that would be 5 cents. And a dime, that's the letter D, 10 cents. Here is a quarter, Q, 25 cents, and this is a dollar coin. I guess I'll use R. Since I already used D for dime, I'll use R for dollar. That's 100 cents. The letters I'm using are just ones that I've chosen. You, of course, could pick any letters you want, but I just think these ones make the most sense. So let's look at an example. If I have 2 nickels, then that would be worth 10 cents. And that's because I have 2 nickels. Each nickel is worth 5 cents. 5 times 2 is 10. That's a total of 10 cents. If I have 3 nickels, that would be worth 15 cents. I have 3 nickels. Each is worth 5 cents. 3 times 5 is 15. In general, the number times the value of the coin equals the total value. So for instance, the number 3 nickels times the value 5 cents for a nickel gives the total value of 3 nickels in cents, and that would be 15 cents. Okay, let's look at a problem. So here is what we saw before, number times value of coin equals total value. And here is the problem. Jennifer has 54 coins, all of which are either nickels or dimes. The coins are worth a total of $4.25. How many dimes does Jennifer have? So I'm going to make a chart. And in this chart, I'm going to list all of the coins that are in the problem. So I have nickels and I have dimes. And I'm going to make another row here for the total. Then I'm going to use that equation and I'm going to write that along the top. Number times value of the coin equals total value. And now I'm going to use the letters that I had from before. I'm going to let N be the number of nickels, and I'm going to let D be the number of dimes, and I'm going to fill out the chart. So let's see here. Well, I know that I have 54 coins in total. And so I can do this 2 different ways. I can write it in terms of nickels, or I can write it in terms of dimes. You can do it either way. I'll pick dimes, so I'm just going to say that I have D dimes. And I want to write this in terms of D also. Well, I know the total is 54, so that means when I add the number of nickels to the number of dimes, I should get 54. If I wanted to write that out, I could say the number of nickels plus the number of dimes should give me 54 coins. And so the number of nickels then would be 54 minus D. I'm just subtracting D from both sides of this equation right here. So I can write this as 54 minus D. And you can see if you add 54 minus D to D, you get 54. That makes sense. The value of the coin is easy. Nickels, that's 5 cents. Dimes, that's 10 cents. I don't need to write anything here. I can just leave that part blank. And the total value, well, I just multiply these 2 things together. So I would have for this one 5 times 54 minus D. For this one, I would just have 10 times D. And the total value is $4.25. If I want to write that all in terms of cents, that would be 425 cents. Because remember, a dollar is 100 cents. So if I have $4, that's 400 cents, and then the 25. So now I can just add these 2 together to get the total value of 425. In other words, 5 times 54 minus D added to 10D should give me the total value of 425. And now I have an equation I can solve for D. So let's distribute 5 times 54, that's 270. And then 5 times this minus D here would be minus 5D plus the 10D equals 425. And now I can collect my D terms here. I have a 10D and a minus 5D. So it'll be the 270 will stay there, and this will just be a 5D equals 425. Now I can subtract 270 from both sides. And if I do that, I end up getting 5D equals, so 425 minus 270, that's 155. And you can do this calculation on the side if you want, or if you have a calculator, you want to do it that way, that's fine. Now I have 5D equals 155. I'm going to divide both sides by 5 to get the number of dimes, and I see I have 31 dimes. So how many dimes does Jennifer have? 31 dimes. What if I wanted to find the number of nickels? Well, the number of nickels, remember, was just 54 minus the number of dimes. So I would do 54 minus 31 to get the number of nickels. And if you do 54 minus 31, you get 23. Let's do a quick check just to make sure this works. So I have 31 dimes, so 31 and each dime is worth 10 cents, plus, and I have 23 nickels, so 23 nickels, each nickel is worth 5 cents. And if I do this on a calculator or I do it out, I do indeed get $4.25. Okay, let's look at another example. Gary has 3 times as many dimes as quarters. The coins are worth a total of $6.60. How many quarters does Gary have? Okay, so I'm going to start with making a chart, and this time I have dimes and quarters. So here's my chart, and I'm going to let D represent the number of dimes and Q represent the number of quarters. So in this case, well, let's see. How about if we just do it in terms of quarters? So I'll call this Q, and now I need to write the dimes in terms of Q. And I could do this the other way around. Just need to pick one of them to kind of start with. So I'm going to pick the quarters, Q. And it says I have 3 times as many dimes as quarters. So that means if I take the number of quarters and multiply it by 3, that should give me the number of dimes. The total number of coins, I don't know. It wasn't given to me in the problem, and, well, I don't really need to know it here, so we'll just leave that blank. And the value of the coin, you're always going to leave that blank. So for dimes, 10 cents, and quarters are 25 cents. And to get the total value, I just multiply them together, 10 times 3Q, and 25 times Q. And the total value I do have, that's $6.60, or 660 cents. And now I have an equation in terms of Q. So I just have this plus this is 660. So that'd be 10 times 3Q plus 25Q equals 660. All right. Let's see, 10 times 3, that's 30. So this is 30Q plus 25Q equals 660. 30 plus 25, that's 55. So this is 55Q equals 660, and then I can divide both sides by 55, and if I do that, I see I have 12 quarters. So how many quarters does Gary have? Gary has 12 quarters. If I wanted to find the number of dimes, remember that the number of dimes is just 3 times the number of quarters, so that's 3 times 12, and if you do 3 times 12, you end up getting 36. And let's just check it and see. So I have 12 quarters, and each quarter is worth 25 cents. And I have 36 dimes. Each dime is worth 10 cents. And if you do this calculation, you do indeed get $6.60.